Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today on the website of Tennants Auctioneers based in the UK, we're going to have a look at their latest sale, which is general musical instruments. They also have some cameras and tools, but we're not going to look at that bit. We're going to have a look at the 137 or so musical instruments. First part seems to be a load of violin family stuff. Second part seems to be just general musical instruments. So we're just going to have a really quick super speed look over this. So this particular auction is finishing on the 27th of September. It's the 24th today, so a few days left to go. Buyer's premium is 24% plus VAT, so bear that in mind if you are planning to bid. This is a UK based auction, so take that into consideration if you're buying from abroad, import, export, shipping fees, all of that fun stuff. Before we get on to our auction blitz, I'd just like to say if you do enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing, like, comment, etc, because it really does help. So anyway, let's crack on and see what we have. So lot 1, we've got a viola, 5.5 inch back there, labelled Tunstall Barnard Castle 2010. Okay, looks kind of interesting. We're not seeing many pictures here, but interesting scroll there, and also this rounded kind of guitar outline that some makers have chosen. There's, I think, one Strad that was converted to be a violin like this, and then the Chanot family made some instruments like this, or at least a member of the Chanot family. So you do occasionally see these kind of guitar shaped violin viola things around. Estimate 200 to 300 there, but nothing too crazy. Another viola there labelled Stradivarius. A few more images on this. Doesn't look too bad. 80 to 120 on that. A few more pictures in the last one. Viola there, Tunstall Castrum Bernardum there. Okay, so I think there's a lot of instruments from the same maker here. 300 to 400 on that. 16 3/4 inches, so fairly large. Kind of looks interesting enough, and in good kind of condition there. A bit more other information. You might find some additional information down here. Violin there, another one labelled Stradivarius. Not a lot of images there, but it looks fairly standard. Violin and a Primavera violin. This is pretty basic stuff, nothing too crazy. 13 3/4 violin there, another Tunstall instrument there, 200 to 300. Violin, 14 inches, another Tunstall special there, 2005. Scroll looks kind of fairly interesting. 200 to 300. Back looks quite nice. A bit of odd pictures there, but Tennants are a bit strange with their images. Another violin there, believed to be made by Tunstall. Okay, but no label, so it probably came from the same collection. It looks believably similar to the other work. Another violin there. No label. They're not saying if it's a Tunstall or not. Another violin there with no label. Presuming that a lot of this stuff is probably by the same maker, but hard to say. Another violin there with the label Colin Mazar. Estimates 3 to 4. Wow, they're really going for it on this one. Obviously, these are popular now, these Colin Mazar violins. Comes a kind of a Viome style bow there. 3 to 4 seems a fair amount. Another violin here, labelled Leone Senavia. Okay, 1951. That's a pretty cool scroll though. Interesting back on that. Quite nice. Yeah, pins on that. Yeah, interesting looking violin there. Pretty cool scroll. 2,500 to 3,000 on that. Be interesting to see how that sells. Another violin here, labelled Nicholas Lupo. 800 to 1,000 on that. The violin there, 14 1/8 inches, labelled Arturo Barini. Not many images on that one. Another violin, Stradivarius. Fairly interesting looking scroll and back on that. Needs obviously a fair bit of TLC. Quite nice corners and purfling work on that. A couple of bows, 80 to 120 on that. Another violin here. In a bit of a sorry state, but halfway kind of interesting there. Another violin, made by Wilson's Whitby. Okay. It's quite a nice scroll on that. Fairly plain looking back, but kind of interesting, 70 to 90 on that. Another violin there. Not a lot of information on that one. Another violin, marked Stradivarius. Okay. Feel like a lot of these instruments are let down a bit by the pictures. They might be a bit better than what we think they are. It's got a violin and some kind of banjo mandolin there. Another violin there. Another one, this is more kind of tradey stuff here. Another Tunstall Barnard here. Another violin, no label. One halfway constructed. Okay, number one, maker John Nesbitt, 1887. Quite cool scroll there. See that? Interesting how the peg box is cut on that. Be quite nice to see what the back looks on that one. Repaired 2022. Yeah, a lot of curious things here. Another one of these rounded instruments, a violin this time. Another Tunstall. Another Tunstall violin here, all fairly similar. Same, wow, quite a lot of them here. Right, violin. Walker Maker Romuald Kirk, 1851, 2 to 300 on that. Looks kind of the curious looking one as well. So there's quite some interesting violins in this auction. Okay, conservatory violin, that's fairly standard trade stuff. Another violin, I think that's fairly standard. Couple of violins here. Nice kind of double case there and a few bows. 100 to 200 on that. See if we've got any back images here. Oh, it's quite a nice looking back on that. So it definitely has some potential. Yeah, interesting violins there. So one labelled Stradivarius. Yeah, definitely would be curious to look at this a bit more in person there. Interesting details on some of these instruments there. Another Tunstall there. Bow stamped Viome. Violin case by Negri. Violin maker's tool chest. That's pretty interesting. 2 to 300 on that. It's quite cute stuff there. Whole load of violin manufacturing books. I presume this is all from Tunstall's workshop. Some parts here. More books. Selection of bows. More bows. Student violin. Various violin making moulds and clamps, and a dulcimer there as well. So it's a fairly interesting sale. Cello there. Lutherie Artistique Jean-Baptiste Collin. 800 to 1200 on that. Right, we're on to non-violin family instruments, of which I think there are a few. Definitely a lot of guitars, a cornet, a trumpet. Let's have to zoom out a bit so we can see this a bit easier. in one go, and that's going to be a bit interesting, I think. Trumpet, a Sovereign model, an alto sax by Selma, 1000 to 1500 on that. That will probably be fairly popular, I would think. Alto saxophone by Yamaha, another alto saxophone. Soprano, this Inagasawa stuff is pretty good. Tenor saxophone there. Bassoon there, no maker's mark. Okay. Clarinet by Metzler & Co. Yamaha clarinet there. Flute by Jupiter. Flute Yamaha. Piccolos there. Concertina by Lacknell, 2 to 300. A nice wooden box. Another Lacknell & Co. 700 to 900 on that. Another one. Some J. Jeffries, 2 to 2.5 there. Quite a nice looking one. Don Powell from Slade drum kit. Okay, interesting. 4 to 600 if you're a fan of Slade. Quite interesting. I used the drums in the studio from 1971 onwards for overdubs, etc. on all of our signals and LPs from that date up to the year 1988. Okay, sold before. Some handbells here, 60/80, that's quite nice. They're quite expensive normally, handbells. Soprano saxophone and some other bits and pieces. Some kind of amplifiers and recording equipment there. Yamaha piano there. Bandurria. Sitar by Riki Ram, New Delhi. Another sitar there. 5-string banjo and some zither banjo type stuff going on there. Mandolin banjo Paragon by Clifford Essex and Sons, 3 to 400. Yeah, popular make. Andrew White electroacoustic guitar. Atkin acoustic guitar, handmade, 2 to 3,000 there. Breed Love electroacoustic. Eastman acoustic guitar there. EKO 12-string. Another EKO there. One of these Fender Acoustasonic things which are quite popular. A couple of freshman stuff. Gibson 12-string there, 6 to 800. Gibson Custom Shop SJ 200. 1800 to 2200 there. Ibanez Montage. Kind of interesting looking electroacoustic there. Le Patrie acoustic guitar. Martin 0025K. Martin HT28. Martin M36. Ovation LX. An X Parlour guitar, okay. 19th century, no label. It's got that kind of Panormo-ish headstock. Okay, machine head stamped Rance. Okay, which is, I think, quite a good maker of tuners. So, yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's quite a curious looking guitar there. 2 to 300. Be worth exploring that a bit further in person. So interesting. Signature Series by Greg Bennett. That's a Korean brand. Indie Guitar Co. acoustic. Vintage Gordon Giltrap signature acoustic guitar. I nearly bought one of those once actually, but did not in the end. Yamaha acoustic there. Burns Shadows custom signature guitar, 700 to 1,000. Chad Underwood Telejib electric guitar, okay, 900 to 1,400. Looks pretty nice actually. EKO Cobra and core electric guitar, and another one. Fender Custom Shop Greg Fessler Nocaster, 2,200 to 2,800. Another Custom Shop S1. Another Custom Shop 62 Relic, so someone's getting rid of their Custom Shop collection. Yep, another 1957. Some pretty high-end guitars here then. Todd Krause Masterbuilt there, 29 to 45. Yeah, it's a nice looking guitar. Eric Clapton signature there, nice green. Fender Custom Shop John Cruz Masterbuilt 1960s Relic 29 to 5. Another Custom Shop John Cruz Masterbuilt 1956. Fender Mustang there. Fender Stratocaster 1958 552 8000 there. Interesting. Bought from Guitar Village on consignment from Dave's Guitar USA. Interesting. Be curious to find out a bit more details about that one. Fender Strat there. Fender Stratocaster electric guitar. Another Custom Shop Eric Clapton there. Fender Vintage 1964 Telecaster. G&L ASAT Fullerton Blues Boy. G&L ASAT Z3. Yeah, this one with this staggered pickups. I always wanted to try one of those. I think they look pretty awesome. That's a really nice looking guitar actually. Beautiful piece of wood and kind of colour on that. That's awesome. Gibson Custom HSTF Tal Farlow hollow body. Beautiful. That's a beautiful looking guitar as well. Can't deny that. That is a nice looking guitar. That's very nice. Gibson Firebird 700 to 1000. That's nice as well. Have some great guitars in here. Gibson Les Paul Custom Shop LPR 9. Chet Atkins there. Another Gretsch here. Hagstrom Viking. I think that's one of the reissue ones. Hollow body electric guitar. They're not mentioning the main people there. Italia Modulo electric guitar. Curious looking one. Ooh, James Tyler, nice. Studio Elite HB 23 to 3000. Really wanted a James Tyler at some point, like about probably getting on 15 plus years ago. This, not too keen on the on that finish, but some of the James Tyler is really, really nice. Levin Archtop guitar 800 to 1200. That's nice. That's a nice looking archtop. That's a really, really, really nice looking guitar there. Very cool. Paul Reed Smith Tremonti. Revelation 12 string. Rickenbacker Dayglow 12 string there. Shure Chambered Classic T electric guitar. Also was very tempted to get a John Shure at some point as well. At the same point I was interested in the Tyler, but never did. Another Shure Telecaster there. Yamaha AES 800B. Yamaha Silent guitar. Fender Basement amp Blackface 800 to 1200. Fender Bronco. Fender Champ. Londoner L100A amplifier. Yeah, not familiar with that brand. Marshall JCM 2000. And that is it. I think we're at the end of the musical instruments. So, I would say pretty interesting sale actually. More interesting than I thought. I'd not looked at it before. So it seems like we have a load of stuff from a violin maker. Some of his own stuff. Maybe there's some other bits and pieces that he's collected or it's from other people. But a few interesting instruments slotted in there. And then some pretty cool guitars as well. So overall, quite an interesting auction and definitely worth checking out. So please check it out and let me know what your thoughts are on any of the things. We just blitzed through it really quickly, so we're not going super in detail. But this, I think, has some interesting stuff in this auction. So definitely worth checking out. So thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.